Mahila, we got a creature here. For those just tuning into my channel, I talk about Jeremy sometimes, and that's the dog Jeremy. And his name is really Hydro, but I call him Jeremy, and his leash actually says Hydro Jeremy with my mom's number on his collar. So, um, that's kind of funny, but I just started calling him Jeremy. It's from Wedding Crashers, and I I do kind of like some of the characters that Vince Vaughn plays. I like him in Lost World Jurassic Park, and I think he does a good job in that film. Even though it's not a very like I don't really relate to that character too much, but I think he has some good moments. And then I like the Vince Vaughn and Wedding Crashers as well. Um, So, but yeah, when I say Jeremy, I'm talking about Hydro. Okay, he's a golden retriever. He's getting a little older now, but he's a good dog. And then, I live in the casita of my parents' house out in Las Vegas. I don't really leave Las Vegas for anything. I've been out here since 2018, and the first summer I stayed out here with Jeremy, and then the second summer I went to Lexington. I had broken my foot and my back, and we kind of traveled the whole country. Like we went northern Michigan and stuff because my family has a cottage in kind of central on the lake. Uh, well, on a lake that connects to Lake Michigan, and in Michigan, and that's my dad's side. And but yeah, we kind of switched between my mom and dad's side. It's Lexington and Chicago area. And my grandparents on my dad's side, they used to have a place in Phoenix, but they sold that place. But it was pretty nice. I liked going there. But so anyway, doing good though. Just keep faith with Lord Jesus, and don't worry about anything. This is a creature, okay, and I'm still making videos even though I got the shot or whatever. I thought maybe something would happen with that, but I got the Johnson and Johnson today over at CVS. Um, so everything seems to be okay. We'll see what happens. Just keep faith, okay, with Lord Jesus. And on my channel, I go over some of the information that people might miss that's on the internet, in articles and stuff on the internet. That's where I get my information from, and a few obscure things that might just come up that I'll do a like a photo or a video on or something, and I'll explain it or whatever. And um, yeah, so basically, like I've been in this deal sort of thing since February 2nd of 2020, and right before that, Kobe Bean Bryant died, and it was all heavy symbolism of some stuff. But we'll see what happens. Um, so today would actually be 39 days until the 503. And like I believe that Hayden Christensen, I believe that he was a 501. And what that means is like they introduced the bear into the system of the deal, like the one the celebrities take and stuff. I know it sounds crazy, but they introduced the bear in the time when Hayden Christensen was coming about, and like he was the first to make it to the 500s. Is kind of what the symbolism shows. There could be one or two before him that were like outliers or something, or just I don't know. But so that's what it looks like to me. And he actually leads the 501st Infantry to the Jedi Temple, and they kind of showed that to me. And like don't kill your child side, like they show their weaknesses and their strengths in the films and stuff, and throughout their symbolism that they have to show whenever they make it. And I know a lot of it is very evil, and it's a lot of doom mindset. I realize that, and we're trying to kind of break it down on my channel and get like, why is this happening? Like, what is really the point of it? And it wasn't by choice when the deal happened to me on, February 2nd. Like, it was like I had gotten a buried treasure, like from this, place in California that my dog like was kind of standing by, and like he dropped a load at, and like they even talk about that in the music. I kid you not. Like, you know, took him to my stash spot. Like, Jay-Z will talk about, and Biggie Smalls talks about the buried treasure and all that. And it was just kind of like going over it in my mind. Then it was like I felt led, and my body became the host that Jesus talked through, because he's the Lord of hosts. And like, then it started with like Baphomet and all this stuff. Like, nothing weird with it. Like, I saw some entity. I didn't see anything like that. But like, I went through a Baphomet, you would call it. Like, I went through 5 months of driving around and not knowing anything, basically. And like, um, that was the time before Kobe Bean Bryant died. He died at exactly the 5 months of it. And like, it was all just perfect symbolism how it went down. And that meant, like, because I answered to Jesus, I had to go through the locust 5 months of the Revelation 9. Like, I went through that with Jesus. And then like, and he was commanding me. And then the deal started after that. Like, I heard like, the voice, like, to listen to my body, sort of thing. Like, just in my spirit. Not like I'm hearing things or anything, not like that. In my spirit. Does that make sense? Like, just going over it and like reflecting on these things, on the addresses and stuff. That's all. So, and like, I take medicine because some things happened where I had some trouble with the law. And like, I take medicine for psychosis. I get a shot every 3 months in Vega Trenza, and like, I'm doing okay. Like, I'm stable, and like, I don't do crazy stuff. Like, I was a little crazy back a few years ago. Like, and I understand that. And like, it's different now, you know. And like, this celebrity deal, they go through similar things, and a lot of them are the homeless people, and people with mental illness, and people with, you know family problems and money problems and all that. Those are the parables that Jesus talked about, like, in how he was going to save even the lost brothers of the Bible. I know that's hard to accept, but he even saves like Esau, Cain, Ishmael, all those that are now, they've inherited the dew of heaven, and they're kind of like the Ariana Grandes, the Ben Stillers, all like the Kobe Bryant, the Shaq, the, like, all them. And they kind of do battle with the Freemasons, because the Freemasons are on the other side of it, controlling like the world politics, and like trying to, out of chaos, bring order. They try to instill like fear into everybody. And but there's some Freemasons that are actually good and stuff, like Knights of Knee, like the ones that recognize both sides. Okay. But there are groups that do battle. Like, there's a lot of groups that do battle. So just keep that in mind. Um but yeah, like, and I know that people don't like Hayden Christensen or whatever. They think he's a bad actor, but like, he actually went through a lot of this stuff, like, that is talked about. And like, when Paul Newman died, Paul Walker became the new man. He was the new Bethlehem Ephrata, which means like he took on a lot of burdens in the industry and did a lot of like sacrifices and stuff. Not really killing people, like doing the burdens of the martyrs that's talked about in Revelation, the martyrs. Okay. So, all right. So I want to go over this. This is a creature, okay. 5 parts perfectly mixed humanoid and morphs to be more four-legged animal-like. 2 forms. All right, so white tiger or bleached tiger, it's a male, is fifth. And Bracelet Jonas Higel, Senior Vice President and Head of SABE Business Area Aeronautics. Meanwhile, the deadline for Canada's fighter competition has now closed, and only 3 companies have submitted their bids. Boeing will enter the competition with its Super Hornet, while Lockheed Martin will compete with the F-35. Europe's ring and earring form. Those interested in symbolism are also sure to find solace in these tokens, as they represent the divine spirituality of the sea. With jewelry and the sea, you can keep a little Elisha Obama Weeks and 2 days lifespan of Helmut John, piece of nautical treasure. Okay, so I'll zoom in on this now. You might be thinking, Brock, what the heck did you just say? And like that, this is a gematria phrase on gematrinator.com, and it reads the code of it. And these are from articles and things that happened in the news. So this is 25126 reverse satanic, 76421 reverse trigonal, and 2002 septenary. And septenary means that it was refined 7 times, sort of thing, is what it kind of means. Like seven times is the cipher. So Helmut John right here is his lifespan. And so yeah, these will mean things, and it's on gematrinator.com. Like it means stuff for end times, even like the way it breaks down, because God is in the numbers as well. Like 1 is A, 2 is B. Like, you know, there's different ciphers for different things, and it can be read different ways. So Afrolitterina acutaspira, sea snail, and Afrolitterina praetermissa is a sea snail. Those 2 are mixed together with this phrase. This phrase becomes an entity, takes on a life form, and is mixed with the white tiger. And so the white tiger, the phrase, the 2 sea snails, and I broke down the word cousin, and it's kind of like cow and sin. So, like how in the news, I'm kind of related to the deaths that happen in the news sometimes. It'll just show up that way. Like, that's been my whole life. Like, it just happens. And like all the celebrities are like that whenever they're going through something, or if they're in the deal, then it'll show up like that. And like for me, like XXX Tentacion was for my deal, kind of. Like his, not when he died, but like his music like kind of inspired for when I took the deal, sort of thing. And it was all spiritual. Like it wasn't like I signed or something. It just happened. Okay. So um so the sin is like related to Cain, and is kind of like you know, his desire will be to you and you will rule over him, the sin. And like the wages of sin is death. So that's kind of like the deaths in the news. So sin and cow kind of means like, well, it's the boss Taurus, it's something like, it kind of means Meg from Twister, like a big meal or something, like from Twister the film, and it means a Han as well, like your faith is reassured. So the cow is, and a cow in Lake Placid is like you were full, so it kind of means like big or something, like much weight, or the ton, so cow and sin, it's saying, is the definition of cousin. So it just makes me wonder, with like, how 4 is Tobias Eaton, like that's what the 4 means. It's from Divergent, and it also means Thyatira, but like those aren't really the same thing. But like basically there's this whole thing that really I might have been born. I know this sounds crazy, but just bear with me. This is the craziest stuff on my channel. That I was born actually on 2/6/1989, when King Tubby died. and that I was born then, and that I was actually the son of my Aunt Dee Dee and Uncle Don, who I call them that because that's what I was taught, was that they were my aunt and uncle, and they lived in Louisville. And my uncle Don worked for GE and served in like Korea. He was stationed in Germany and drove generals around and stuff in a Jeep. And like my Aunt Dee Dee would take me to Toys R Us every time me and Blake went there, and we'd get a bunch of action, or I would get a bunch of action figures and stuff. And like, they were big time Louisville fans, Louisville Cardinals, and loved Denny Crum and all this stuff. And, you know, anyway, like, I don't know why that symbolism shows up, but like, for some reason, I might have actually been their son, and like, they were too old to raise me or something. Something happened where they wanted me to be raised by who would actually be my cousin, is my mom. And um because my Aunt Dee Dee is the sister of H. And see, Dee Dee died in 2000 when I was in 3rd grade. She died from lung cancer. And then my uncle Don and my cousin Mitch, Mitch was Dee Dee's first husband's son, Bob, who they said couldn't keep a job or something, and like he was trying to be a preacher, and like so then Dee Dee married Don, and like, Don didn't really have a good relationship with Mitch. Like at meals, like they'd always like he'd kind of haze him a little bit, is kind of how it was. But like, I shouldn't say that because that's too harsh of a term for it. But like, see, Mitch, he had a football accident when he was in high school, and they couldn't get the helmet off. And then like he had the mind of a 3rd grader the rest of his life. Like he was disabled. So, and he lived in the basement. Okay, this is what I was told, and like we would go there all the time, and my mom and dad were really close with them, and I was too. I was just a little younger, like, and then Don and Mitch died around 2012. Okay, like 2012. So that whole side of the family is gone, you see, and it's all tied in with the money. Like there's money stuff involved where H took all the money that they had from retirement and like did not really give it out to my mom, who it was told that she would inherit it. So it's very complicated, like how it actually went down, like with the financial stuff involved with the will, because there was no written will, but so that's where a lot of the financial problems come from, really. It's not really that people are, misusing the money or something. It's really these deep feelings of like hurt that my mom feels and that my dad feels because he's so close to my mom. So, um so I just wanted to show that, like, why is that, like, I don't know. So, yeah, like, so I know that sounds crazy. I'm just telling you what it could be because I don't know. But like, in H, he had a brother